welcome to Glitter and Chaos. Today's episode is hosted by Caitlin Mead, licensed clinical professional counselor and registered play therapist.
And Kaylee Patton-Dieters, licensed clinical marriage and family therapist. We also started almost at the same time.
Yeah, so happy after Thanksgiving. This gives you an idea of how things are going. The chaos of the holidays, and yeah, everybody just take a deep breath. I kind of feel like that's where I'm at a little bit.
Yeah, everything's been super chaotic and everything's going everywhere, every which way.
Random snow today, which we knew was coming, but like more than what we thought. Maybe.
Depending on which model you listen to.
Either way, Kansas forgot that it's December and not January.
It's winter.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Or I guess it's not technically winter, but...
No, winter is not till December 22nd.
Yes.
I think.
Nonetheless.
One of the 20 days.
22nd sounds right.
Yeah. You make me go Google it later. Today's very chaotic, clearly. So today's episode is Who's at Your Table? Mm-hmm. And you've heard us mention that a couple times in the last couple podcasts. And when we talk about who's at your table, we're talking about who are your friends? Who would you consider your village? Mm-hmm. And what does that village look like? What's a quality village? What's a village that, or just a table, I guess, and like, who do you invite to your table? Mm-hmm. Who's allowed to stay at your table? And at what point do you know that it's probably time for you to find a new table?
Mm-hmm. Who's supportive? Who's going to be there for you?
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's what we kind of wanted to talk about today. Kind of ties into our self-care, our self-doubt, imposter syndrome, all the things that we've really been focusing on. If you're catching a theme here, it's a lot about your peace, protecting your peace as a person, and knowing your limits. And I think part of that is having those healthy relationships and those people that you can call, or people that, not just in your bad times, like I want to reiterate that too, in your good times too. Like, you want people in your life you can celebrate with.
Yeah.
Whether that's family, whether that's friends, just all together. Like, you want not just people, so personally for me, I don't want friends that I'm just going to go to when things are bad.
Yeah.
Like, I want people that I can text or I can call when things are really good, and celebrate with. And so that's what today's episode is let's talk about that. Let's talk about what makes our tables thrive.
And I think it's different for each person too, because everybody has their own unique needs and their own support needs as well. And so what might be like an inclusionary list for you may not be as much for me. Right. Or you may have, I don't want to say priorities, but preferences perhaps, that you would consider more of value or more important to you, versus I may have different things that are more valuable to me that I'm looking for in a friend.
But I think that's what makes friendship beautiful though too, is that you each can have different preferences and different values. And I want to say different values to a degree, because I think ultimately, like, you have kind of the same moral compass.
Yeah.
In that
the values will probably align very well, if not complement each other.
Yes.
But I also think that, again, if you're looking at a rank file system or like a pie graph, different things will have different intensities and priorities and colors. So I still think that there will be the overlap and alignment of values and, like you said, moral compass, but it just may look different on what exactly the minutia of it is.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's kind of the main thing we really wanted to talk about today, which is what makes a quality friendship. And learning when those friendships, or maybe what you thought was a healthy friendship, really isn't. And being able to recognize, like, when boundaries have to be drawn for yourself and I think for others. Because one of the things that we focus a lot on as therapists is what's within our control. I can't own somebody else's behaviors. Like, I often tell my clients, you don't have ownership over someone else's behaviors. and you can't control what other people do, but you can absolutely control what you do and who you surround yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it's so important for us as individuals to make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with healthy relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that starts with figuring out where your morals and your values line up, but
Mm-hmm.
also like having that, but no, give that caveat there too, that like your friendships are not, I have to be friends with someone who's exactly like me.
No.
Like Kaylee and I are very close friends,
Mm-hmm.
but we are not,
We're different.
we're very different from
Mm-hmm.
one another. But at the base, like foundation of our friendship, things complement. They overlap. They line up with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And so and we can have those healthy conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Yes.
that's the huge part about, again, who's at your table. How can you converse with those people?
Mm-hmm. And when you were saying that, that we're different people, that kind of gave me the visual of, again, when we talk about in communication skills and teaching people how to communicate with each other, there's the surface level stuff,
right?
Where it's, talking about your day, the weather, the small talk, if you will, some of the points. And then you get a little bit deeper in the, the undercurrent. That's where those values are. And so it's almost like this tiered system of, what am I, like you and I could completely look different, but again, have the same values and the same morals, or just the same values that we hold important, and still get along.
Right.
But we may, look or, have different interests, because we've talked about our different interests, what we like, what we don't like, throughout the different podcasts. But we still get along good as friends, even though we have differences of opinions, we have differences of interests.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just it kind of popped in my head when you were talking about that.
No, I think you're right though. But I also go back to, I think that's what makes friendships so beautiful and that they thrive, is that I don't want to be friends with somebody who agrees with everything that I say all the time.
Yeah.
I want to be able to have healthy banter, insightful conversation. I want to be able to have, and I don't want to say disagreements. Like, you can have disagreements, absolutely.
Spirited debates.
Spirited debates. I like that. But I want to be able to, here's where it comes down to. I can feel safe having a difference of opinion.
Yes.
In my friendships.
Yes.
Like, I feel safe talking to Kaylee about things that I know she doesn't necessarily share the same opinion that I share. And I have a select few people in my life that I can do that with. Because I know at the end of the day, there's no judgment. And if there is, we're not afraid to call each other out on it and be like, hey, you're judging. And so, like, it's that piece to it, which is, you want to be able to have friendships with people who challenge you, I think.
Yes, in certain ways. I think too much challenge, too much adversary is not good.
No.
I think that is getting more towards that's not part of your like intimate table. That's not
Right.
who you're seeing or talking to every day. I just don't think that that's a good, but you need to have some sort, like you said, I think you said it beautifully, was being able to have that healthy, disagreement of sharing or not calling out, bringing it up to someone of, hey, I'm noticing this, or hey, this is going on, or let's rethink that for just a second or three. Okay. I don't know. I don't know where my brain was going with that. It kind of trailed off.
No, I mean, no, I'm tracking you. One of the things I want to point out though too about the table, and I don't know why it popped in my head, but like, I think it's important to have friendships that you don't feel like you're having to look over your shoulder.
Oh. You know that they have your back, whether or not they're with you in this moment or in any other kind of environment. You know that they would support you, stick up for you, or just not even like continue a rumor mill, if you will.
Right. Or would come to you and say, hey, like,
this is what I'm hearing.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Or put a stop to it. Advocate for you. And to me, like, I want to be able to sit somewhere where I feel unconditional love and positive regard.
Yeah.
And that And again, not only am I like, would I know that, hey, if I called somebody, they're going to drop it and they're going to be there like in a heartbeat if they can be.
Yeah.
But also like the people that I can text and be like, oh my gosh, this is what happened. And they're going to just celebrate with me.
Yeah.
But either way, like, I need to know that the people that are at my table are people that I can trust. And if you're at my table because I chose for you to be at my table. And I think that that's where sometimes when we're talking about who's at our table, you know, you can run into the spot where some people, and I'm totally losing track of what I'm talking about here.
Just the chaos of the day.
I think sometimes we get so caught up in quantity over quality.
Yes.
That it gets to a point of, yeah, I know this person, I'm friends with this person, I'm friends with this person, I'm friends with this person. But what is friendship?
And especially, I think we see it more in small towns where everybody knows everybody. You may not know them personally or specifically, but you can do a 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon and get there. I don't even think 7. Let's do 2. 2 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Family trees go straight up. Like,
it's just, there's a lot of interconnectivity in smaller areas. And so there's always a connection somewhere, which is cool in certain ways. But then also, you know, if you've grown up in a small town, there's beauty and there's also chaos to it, because it's a beauty because there's a lot of great support and beautiful things that come out of a small town. But often people know what you did before you did it. And that was a running joke growing up. For me was my parents would know what I did before I did it. And then it was like, well,
right.
You know, so anyway, but I think kind of getting back to what is a good friendship. I mean, like for me, yes, trust is a big one. Humor is another one. I want to be able to laugh. I want to be able to kind of share off the wall funny things that I see, like on Instagram, which we've, you know, talked about. I send her like 50,000 different Instagram reels.
I'm getting a little better, a little better.
She's not the only one I do this to. I do it to some other friends too. And it's that pebbling. It's that I saw something that I thought you would think funny, or I saw something that reminded me of you. But again, it's that humor that I want, that interchange that is important to me.
And you bring up the interchange. I think that that's the other part too. Like, not only do I want someone investing in me, but I want a friendship that I invest into. Like, it is a give and take. Putting out here, no relationship is ever 50-50 all the time. Ever. Where my cup might be 90% full, Kaylee's might only be 10%. Where she might be 80 one time, I might be 20% another time. The point being, constantly pouring into and investing. And that's where I get, friendship should not just be a take, or a give. It should be each party giving and taking in certain ways. And I'm not talking about just necessarily of time or of gifts or things like that, but it's the checking in. It's the, hey, I thought of you. It's the pebbling. It's the responding to Instagrams when there's like 20 of them and I got to get better at that. But it's literally just the like, hey, I know that this is important to you. And so like, how's it going? Or how did that go? Or just, it's those things. Like, I don't know how else to explain that.
Yeah. The interchange is, so here's the thing that we kind of differ on. So she was giving like the 90-10 that, you know, just on any given kind of moment, anybody can have that. In relationship work, we tend to do a little bit more of each is at a different meter. Yes, you want to ideally, which is very hard to be at, 100% on both sides. So if you imagine like a little bar above us, you know, we would ideally both be giving 100% into this friendship. That's not realistic, nor is that always sustainable or attainable for some people. And that's okay. But like, for example, you may be at an 88 and I may be at 120. So when she's maybe having a harder day and I've got enough spoons, then I can help her out a little bit more when I have some extra oomph. At that moment, and vice versa. If I'm down to like 70% and she's at like 90, maybe that's the day that she gives a little bit more. And it doesn't have to be like a whole lot. It could be just like you said, an extra check-in.
That gap.
It's trying to be as level as possible. It's that interchange flow,
Right.
if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think you're right. I think it makes sense. It's trying to help one another stay balanced. Understand this though. We're not saying that like it's your job to make everybody around you happy.
No.
That's not what that is.
Mm-mm.
What that is when you're in relationship with anyone, whether that's spousal, whether that's friendship, whether that's family, whatever it is, the relationships that are important, you invest in. And they invest in you. And so that's what we're talking about who's at your table.
Yeah.
Not people that take all the time. And not the people that just give all the time. Everybody, and I get on this whole topic too. Everybody has different love languages, you know, and you have people that give and that are naturally givers. And this is going to get off on a whole nother tangent, and I don't even know why I went there, but chaos of the day. But the point being that each person at that table, and not everybody at your table is going to know one another. Okay. Like I need to understand that. Like you are allowed to have different friend groups. I want to emphasize that. Not everybody at your table is one big friend group. You can have a close friend over here and close friends over here and close friends over here. And still each person be as important as the other.
And I think that that's more unique in adult relationships. And I think that's just how it kind of goes as we age, is your friends are going to be spread out a little bit more. They maybe won't all be in the same town that you live in or the same town that you grew up in, or both, if both are applicable. But you see that more in adult relationships where you do have friends that are spread out, where you may not see them physically, but once a year. Right. You know, when you try to get together and you try to plan something, which is also hard in adulthood to do with everybody's conflicting schedules and everybody's got something to do.
Especially around the holidays.
Yes. There's a lot of finagling going on during this time with schedules. But you see that where, especially with geographic location, that you may not, like, for example, let's just use us. So she and I are friends, but then I have a friend that lives in Kansas City. And so while she knows this person because we used to work with her, she doesn't talk with her. That doesn't mean that they're not friendly. It's just I have maintained that connection and we have maintained a connection. But again, that third point of the triangle, if you will, just isn't there, but that's okay. She has her own friend group that I don't know. Like she has another friend that lives in Topeka that I know of because she talks about her because she's important, but I don't know her. But again, it's just those kind of spokes, if you will, of the wheel of you that creates this table around you.
Right. Right. And understanding though too that we still have our connection and our friendship. Yeah. Even in the midst of all that. And that's okay. That's sometimes I think that's the cycle that people get stuck on too.
Kind of like a Venn diagram.
Yeah. But I think people get stuck in that cycle though too sometimes, is I can't have those extra friendships.
Reminds me of that Friends episode. You have other friends?
Yeah. How dare you? And I think sometimes as there's a guilt there sometimes, which is we see more with like younger kids, but I think sometimes like with teenagers, but I think sometimes even into adulthood, you see that because as we age and as we transition and as we move through life, those lasting friendships, like, I mean, I would consider ours a lasting friendship, but like you meet new people, meet new people and you grow and you like, that's part of life.
Not every friendship that you make when you're younger lasts into whatever age you are at this time or even later. We all go through, I kind of like the idea of seasons, or that seems a little, I don't know, colloquial, but it's more of you change as a person as you interact in this world. And you even minutely, you change day after day. You do not stay static. And so some of those friendships just naturally dissolve.
Yeah.
I have no word but this.
Taper out.
There we go. Good
Taper
word.
out.
Good word.
And they do. And you don't like the word season, but I'm going to use it because
I have no other word for it right now. But
because I think, I know how you feel about TikTok, but I did see like a TikTok about it that was basically like sometimes there's friends that you develop at a young age that you think are going to last a lifetime, but end up really only being there for a season of your life.
Yeah.
And it's not that they didn't serve a purpose.
No.
And it's not that that friendship wasn't healthy or good at one time. It just means you both changed, or one of you changed, or whatever the circumstances were. I think it's about just giving yourself, though, the permission to know that it's okay to grow.
Yes. That is the whole point, is to grow.
Yes. Like, and your friends should want you to grow.
Yes.
Like, they should want you to grow, not necessarily away from them, but like...
But I think that that's a point of having that conversation of, if you feel each other drifting, is this just something that's naturally going to occur, that this is the natural flow of things? Or is there a rift somewhere that needs to be repaired? And it's having that conversation. And then that is also further information of, if you're able to have those conversations, then yes, they still are part of your group or part of your table right now. And if you're not able to have that healthy conversation about kind of, what is this friendship to us? Is this still beneficial, but is it still healthy for me to be in? Then that also gives you information of maybe this is, kind of the end of this friendship right now.
Right. So that's where we talk about looking into your friendships. And I'm not saying, okay, now it's time for you to dive off and analyze all of your friendships in your life.
No, but I think we kind of sidestepped it, but I want to bring it back to, because I think it is so, it permeates everything right now, is social media and friendships and parasocial relationships. You can have hundreds of thousands almost of people online that you can be friends with, but are they a friend? Like, do they know specific things about your life? What is the litmus test here for your friendship, for what you consider a friend, a good friend, a best friend, however many tiers that that you have.
Right.
And that includes those parasocial relationships. And that's almost uniquely, I would say, it has gotten more frequent with the explosion of social media. And counterpoint, I don't mind TikTok, I just don't have it.
She won't go down that black hole.
But there is a lot of parasocial relationships, that I think have come to the forefront, where that wasn't a term I had even considered 5 years ago to even think about, talk about, know about, honestly and truly.
Well, I mean, you think about our generation and what we grew up with, like...
Yeah, dial-up internet. It was fun.
AOL Instant Messenger. Anybody remember the little running guy, like, that you would sit like in the corner of your computer and you'd have like your BRB, like,
and you hope nobody needed to use the phone, because then you lost internet connection.
Right, and then I think we went to like Zynga and then MySpace, and then it was like Facebook after that.
I don't remember Zynga. I've heard of it, but I did MySpace.
Yeah. And now I look back on that and I'm like, holy moly! Like we've evolved.
We have changed significantly.
Sometimes I wish things were simple, like they were when you could leave your little cryptic AOL message up, and then nothing like.
Nothing more passive aggressive than that.
Right. Nothing more passive aggressive than that. There were no Snapchats. There were no
angst right there.
Yes. But like, it was just stuff like that. And then I think, and it is very normal for people to have developed those online friendships now. And some of them are very good. Some people make very good and meaningful online friendships. And I don't want to discount that. We don't want to discount that at all.
Online relationships, like friendships, are just as valid.
Yes.
But again, it's, do I just have them on my Facebook, but I know literally nothing about their life except what their profile picture looks like, versus having these, online exchanges either in Messenger or a message board or some other like Twitch or Steam or anything like that.
Discord or whatever.
Discord, yes, that one.
So like, it's literally just investing.
Yes, the investment level.
Are you invested? And so like, that's, I think, what we kind of want to leave you with today, which is who are you investing in and who is investing in you? And so who do you allow at your table? And
knowing that criteria can change as you change.
Yes.
Different things will become important to you or more valuable to you at different places in your life and across your lifeline.
Yes.
So, and I think that that's like I think you mentioned it earlier, is to just allow yourself that change. Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen multiple times. It's going to happen again.
What do you call it? Radical acceptance?
Radical acceptance. Yes.
Radically accept that you're going to change and life is going to change you. And as you age, as we age, things change. And so it's not a bad, it doesn't have to be viewed as a bad thing. I think sometimes change gets this bad rap that like, oh, it's bad, it's change, so it's bad. Not always. Actually, most of the time it's probably pretty good. And so it's reframing those thoughts and it's looking at the things differently. But at the end of the day, ultimately, surrounding yourself with people who you care about and you know care about you. And you can trust. And so like for me, I have people at my table that not only do I trust, but I trust my family with. Because my family is like my priority, like my number one priority. So if I trust you with my family, then you're at my table.
Yeah. And that's a criteria for you. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, you know, my table's probably, I don't know, I try to keep mine fairly small, but then I start thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I think it's bigger than I give myself credit for.
Yeah.
I really do. But
you start counting and you're like,
oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, maybe there's a little bit more. Maybe I need to get a little bit bigger table.
Need another chair.
Farmhouse table here.
Maybe a bench or two.
Yeah.
Does it need to be circular or can it be rectangle?
Overflow seating.
Yes. Overflow seating. Yes.
So
get some folding chairs.
Well, I really encourage you guys. We encourage you to think about that and to think about your friendships and your role in them and the role that people play in your lives. And we hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving and have a wonderful Christmas. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.